Good day, family. I am happy and pleased to meet Dr. Joe from Oakland, the USA, that has done many things in the field of law, has assisted many people pass the bar exams, and he presently based in the Gambia, which will be moving, returning to the US, and he have a lot to share with the community. So, Dr. Joe, the floor is yours. You can tell them about
Well,
yourself and your accolades.
okay, first of all, good brother Shango, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to be able to give out information and also to be able to receive because you can't give without receiving. My wife and I have been in the Gambia, West Africa here, for going on 10 years. For 9 years, we've had a school here, Spicy Tasty Vegan Institute, where my wife, as a primary teacher, um, is taught Gambians, Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans um, how to cook plant-based vegan cooking. That's without the Jimbo and the Maggie and the white rice and the white sugar and the meat and on and on and on. Just wholesome food. Now we have classes that go for 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, and advanced training. And within that training, they promise that whatever information that they learn, they have to share it. So we get a rippling effect. So they share it with their family, their compounds, their communities. So that information goes out. And at this point, we've given out over 45 certificates in our 9 years. And we feel that we're fairly successful because we planted seeds. And since we were in business to go out of business, that is, to set up a situation where people learn how to do what we're doing, giving out food at little or no cost. And when people stop coming to us, that's an indicator that they've either got it or their consciousness is such that they can't grasp it. Then you move on. In our 9 years, I feel it's more of the former. Uh, the Gambia has won the first Jollof rice contest, with the other countries. That's because of our influence. And we are so thankful and grateful for the many students that have come through under the tutelage of Mama Naasira Ageela. Now, where do I fit in? Well, I am that guy who is so happy, 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 happy. And I'll tell you right now, I do not mind working for food. I met Mama Nasira in a library in Oakland, California. I was going there to put in some of my music because I have a lot of music in many libraries. And because people like my music sometimes, they don't return it. So I have to, go back and replenish it. And this particular day, I saw this beautiful woman in her Muslim garb. And, um, I thought she was just, spectacular. And we spoke briefly. She was married at the time, and so was I. But as time went on, you know how things are in your life for a reason and for a season. It turned out later when I saw her again, she wasn't married, which made me very happy because I wasn't married. And the story went on from there, from being in a Whole Food store and finding out from there that she was into making a transition from being a vegetarian to being a vegan. And of course, I said I'd gladly assist. And when I found out what she was doing, chopping up all those vegetables, man, I just said, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I seem to fit right in because I'm from a family of 10. So I had to learn how to do the things that one probably should learn: how to wash the clothes, how to clean the diapers, how to clean the babies, how to mop and cook and all those things. Because my mother told us, she said, look, boy, these girls now, you marry them, and if the electric electric can opener broke. You probably both starved to death. So you better learn how to cook. So that was one of my priorities. So when I met her, it seemed to go hand in hand, like, hand in the glove. And we started off, number one, I suggested that since she was making this food for these people, that why not have cooking class? You know the old adage, you teach a person how to fish, then they can fish for themselves. Well,
Yes, yes, yes.
it backfired big time. More people came to Mama Naasira wanting food than ever before. So what we decided to do strategically is to retire, take a few months, write our cooking book, and then resume things. But while we were doing that, and it took us 27 months, doorbell didn't ring, no TV. We were concentrated. Information came out that we felt we wanted our people of color to know because we're so different from those that have less melanin. We call them melanin recessive, where those that have more were melanin dominant. And because of the disparity, we wanted them to know the difference and why we should eat the way we should. In other words, the lifestyle. So that means cutting out the acidy kind of things and putting in more alkaline, plant-based kind of fruits and vegetables and all of that. And that way we would go more in harmony, not only with our environment, with our body, which will help to elevate our consciousness. Now, you had a question.
No, you can continue. I'm just listening.
Okay. There was a question yesterday about what vegetarian is, because that can be, a big question because there are so many so-called vegetarians. There's like a semi-vegetarian. That's someone who's cutting back on their intake of meat in general. You can have a pollo, and pollo is Spanish for chicken. That means they avoid the red meat and fish, but they eat chicken, okay? You can have a pesto pollo, check that out, put those together, where you avoid the red meat, but you eat the fish and the chicken. And the biggest one, which is mostly where I come from, it's called a lactose oval. Lactose oval. And this is where you avoid the red meat, the fish, the chicken, but you can eat dairy products like milk and cheese and yogurt and eggs. And as I said before, most of the vegetarians in the United States and Canada, and a lot of them in Western Europe, they fall under that category. So you can see why there's so much confusion. And some, when they start off, instead of having a balance, some of them eat a lot of starches, like the cakes and the cookies and the bread, and some of us call them starchitarians instead of vegetarians.
Vegetarians.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's okay. Cool.
Okay, now it is important in our book, and I'll pull out the one that we wrote. This one, we wrote three of them in the 27 months because one just led to the other. And this one, if you can see it, it's
Yes.
called Spicy, Tasty Vegan Cuisine, an informative health guide for the melanated people of color. Now, it's important to know that the book, it's a little over 40 pages. It has an index. We're registered with the Congress Library of Commerce, so you can get the book at any bookstore. You can order it at any college. So the books are easily accessible. Now, why do we do that? Well, the physiological differences. Number one, if you look at your skin, what seems to be the pigmentation giving us the color, most of us call that melanin. Melanin. And it's different to note that there is a difference. Like for those that have a lot of melanin, we're called melanin dominant. But those that have less melanin, they're melanin recessive. Everyone has melanin, but some are dominant, some are recessive. Now, their
So,
melanins, yes, sir.
so one question: what are the two different dominant and
And recessive.
recessive? Okay.
Yeah,
So, what type of
dominant.
melanin is this? Pheomelanin, or what kind of melanin?
Yes, they describe different shades of them.
Mm-hmm.
The PO. But what I try to do is just make it just very simple,
Okay. Thank
because
you.
a lot of it can be simplified and it's
Yes.
easier to digest. So
Yes.
let's just look at the differences that we have. And after we look at the differences, then we can see what challenges they can cause and how to remedy it. Does that sound okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, so let's look at the sites, the melanin sites that we have. If you're a melanin dominant person, you have 12 melanin sites as opposed to the 7 that melanin recessive have. Now, melanin recessive, uh, we have more selenium in our cells, more seleniums in the blood cells there. Where if you are melanin recessive, European types, you have more sulfur in the middle of your melanin cells. Now, this comes into play because if those that are melanin recessive, if they get wet, you can kind of smell it on their hair, because combined with the fact that they have more sulfur, salt in their body than we, so you have a combination of the sulfur and you have you have the sulfur and you have the ammonia, and that gives off a smell. I'm sure we've probably all experienced that. And also, melanin dominant, we have the highest quality of vitamins and minerals. That is one of the reasons why you don't hear about folks being taken for their organs that are not melanin dominant. So you have, shall we say, sunshine and shadow on this.
Oh.
Um, yes. Now, our nervous system of the melanin dominant, it's more extensive. In other words, we have more blood vessels, which is good or bad, because if you are eating food that has a high concentration of proteins and fats, then you're most likely to block the flow of blood. And if you don't have a good flow of blood to your brain, stroke, heart attack, it will
Mm.
be a problem. Okay. Now, in terms of muscle response, when you take our melanin, you put it with our muscle and the nerves, then we get a more, what we call it's a muscle response.
Mm.
We also, in other words, we're able to get messages to our brain a lot quicker and faster. That's why we notably can run faster, jump higher, and make the moves we do, with such swiftness, because the messages go to our brain a lot faster. Now, in
Mm.
terms of our eyes, the iris in our eyes, the melanin there allows us to see the color within the color. And in our ears, the melanin allows us to hear the sound within the sound. That's why we're noted musicians and can do all those things, because of the melanin. Now, our taste buds, the melanin allows us to feel or taste the full flavor of the food. That is why you note that most of the cooks and chefs, the best, are melanin dominant. Tastes good. And
Tastes
the
good.
melanin also, it stimulates enzymes that allow us to break down the food for our digestion, using less energy than for the melanin recessive. Now, melanin is considered like a harmonizing chemical. And there are some that say when you have dominant, it makes you more psychic, more spiritual, more intelligent, and compassionate. Now, intelligent because the melanin allows you to store more information. So the
Mm-hmm.
more information you have, the more intelligent you're going to be. Now, physically, being a melanin dominant, we have a wider peripheral vision than those that are melanin recessive. If I were to take my hands and hold them out here, you'd be able to see both ends. For the Asians, it would be like this, but for the melanin recessive Europeans, it would be like this. And oftentimes, you may have a challenge where you say, I just walked by him and he didn't say anything. They didn't see you. You weren't in their
Mm.
field of vision. Okay, now melanin recessive, they also have more salt in their body than we have. Okay, so there are some others, but I don't want to keep going on and on. But those are some of the main ones that jump out at you. But in our book, we have a chapter on melanin.
Good,
Okay,
good.
now let's make the story very simple. If you have a good working pineal gland, that's in the middle of your brain, midbrain, your third eye, as the yogas call it. Well, the problem is the calcification, in other words, the blocking of that. If you are a melanin recessive, you are born right out the gate with a lot more calcium in your pineal gland than the melanin dominant. And if you don't eat the type of food or have the type of lifestyle that's going to allow the production of the melatonin that comes from the pineal gland, which regulates our our sleep wake cycle. Okay, um, then you're going to have a challenge. Now with melanin dominant, we have a wonderful challenge because we are being bombarded by four different directions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
number one, you look at the calcium, those things will calcify straight off the block. So we're looking at alcohol. Alcohol, as you probably know, is not good for your liver. It's not good for your blood. It has a lot of problems. It lowers the frequency of your body, and it allows other entities to influence you. They don't call it the spirits for nothing. You also have caffeine. And you'll notice that a lot of folks are hooked on that and they're drinking caffeine regularly. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that's not to be confused with nicotine, because nicotine in and of itself, pure nicotine, is good. It helps to get rid of parasites. But the problem is when you put in those additives, okay? Back in the day in America, we had our old folks sitting on the stoop, men and women with their pipes, and they lived a
100.
long time,
Yeah.
and they were cool in the gang. But
Mm-hmm.
it was just the nicotine. Now, the other is, besides the alcohol, you got the caffeine, then you have dairy products. That includes your meat, from the cow, your milk, your cheese, your eggs. All of those things cause problems, okay? Um, So then after you look at that, you got to look at the other category, and that is your fluoride chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
And fluoride in and of itself is a natural chemical that comes from a rock, it's a mineral. But we're talking about what they categorize fluoride, which is industrial waste. This is waste that comes from their factories and all, and they call it fluoride. Now, they got a lot of it and they didn't know what to do with it. So someone came up with a wonderful idea. Well, let's put it in products so people can use it and we can make money. And so what do we have? Toothpaste. We have mouth rinse, things that have fluoride in it. And there was a campaign to put fluoride in America in all of the public drinking water, municipal drinking. And
Mm-hmm.
then they encouraged us to drink 8 glasses a day. So it's important that you drink good water. Uh, in America, I can point out that we do have a number of challenges that we're addressing, and one of them is water from our infrastructure. We have a lot of old pipes. that need to be replaced. You know, and so that's one of the things that can alleviate some problems. But until then, if you had the proper water system that can filter out the chlorine and all of those impurities or contaminants, then it would be cool in the game. We happen to be distributors of MultiPure, which is a company that basically was influenced by Israel, because as Americans, we spend a lot of money that we've been sending to Israel for whatever reasons, okay? And they use that money to make sure they could protect their troops with good drinking water. And from that, it evolved into a group over in America that were selling it. And Mama happened to run into one of the distributors in a class at the YMCA. I think it was a Tai Chi class. And she explained to the woman that she had been drinking alkaline water. You know, we had different systems, but yet she still felt a sensitivity in her kidneys. And the woman explained to her that it was probably because of her lifestyle. She was already alkaline, and she didn't need to, use the machines. The best thing for her was to just use the regular water, but just filter out the contaminants. And that was the type of devices that MultiPure was offering. So I got one from her. We used it,
Mm,
and
mm.
in a few weeks, Mama felt a lot better. So I became a distributor. And in America, we have people underneath us where we give out the system. Because Mama and I said, well, look, we may have the best sellers on Amazon and in the UK. And people are loving the food when they come here, whether it's to the Institute or whether it's our home restaurant. But if the water is not good, it doesn't matter what ingredients you have in it, you have a
Then the food
problem.
is not good.
Yes, sir. So we've been working on that by trying to make a natural balance, as well as including the music, which is the mind moving motivational music, because good music goes with good food. Okay.
100%. Wow.
Now, any
Um,
question?
yes. Your the discussion, your presentation is very, very informative for the family, because I think those information need to be told. Because in the UK there was an alkaline explosion. Everybody's talking about alkaline 7.58, and the higher the better. And like I was telling Mama yesterday, when I started drinking the alcohol, because I bought um, one of those ionizing systems.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I realized after drinking the alkaline water for 2 months, I felt it on my kidneys. And I
Ah,
started saying,
yes.
wow, that's a lot of pressure. So I realized, so what I did, I bought some Saka water and I felt better.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to the alkaline again and I realized the same thing happening. So I stopped drinking the alkaline water and I was drinking just the pure water from the water filter. And then
Mm-hmm.
I haven't felt those pressures. So I realized that the alkaline water is just fashionable, and they tell you the higher the better. So that's what I did. I had the kit. I tested the rainwater. It was 4.5.
Yes.
I tested the river water. It was 5. And then I tested many water, and I realized that what nature gives you is not approved for you, is not what man approves for you. So I went back to the natural or the normal water from the water filter. So by you saying that today, it just brings more clarity for the community to have a different perspective based upon what was the norm a few years ago. So thank you for telling the community about the water system, because it helps quite a bit. You can continue.
Okay. Now, let's go with the simple story. Pineal gland, third eye. The
Mm-hmm.
pineal gland, it allows you to see out of the matrix. Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you want to keep a person submissive, then you're going to work very hard to make sure that they cannot see clearly. So one of the things you do is you give them those things that cause the calcium to build up, to start to calcify your pineal gland. We talked about the alcohol, the caffeine, we talked about the dairy products. Now, the other, we talked about the fluoride chemicals, because that also reduces the production of melanin if it's starting to calcify it, close it up. And it's going to impair the sleep-wake cycle. And so once again, check your toothpaste, make sure it doesn't have fluoride in it. Check your mouthwash, make sure it doesn't have it. Now, the other thing which is very common, and that is chlorine and bromide. Bromide is in things like your cakes, your pastries, and some of your soft drinks. Now, the chlorine, you get that in the pesticides. It's found in seafood. Let me say that again, seafood. Um, and you get it like in swimming pools, hot tubs, anywhere where they have like swimming pool treatment, you're going to have chlorine, pardon me. So avoid those things. The other is what's called a BVO, that's brominate vegetable oil, and potassium brominate. If you see that, stay away from it. So we got 1, 2, 3 areas, and the other area they hit us with is mercury. In America, being a family of 10 and we didn't have a lot of money, we ended up like on a welfare system. And so the dentists would have us lined up, and at an early age, they would drill holes in our teeth and put in mercury.
Mercury.
Um, Also, mercury is used in the vaccines. Uh, Thermosol, that's like a vaccine preservative. But it does not surprise me that in America, if you look at professions, the highest rate of suicide is among the dentists. And how often do they give us fluoride? You go in, you think you're looking your teeth good, and you come out dumber than you were before. Okay? So that can be a problem. So those are the things that cause the calcification. So what do you
One
do?
question.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
one question before you go. Um, should I? Today, you find that people brushing their teeth 5 times a day, but there is still a lot of gingivitis. I mean, tooth decay, and a lot of problems. Do you think that that's connected to the the fluoride in the toothpaste, or what could be the
Oh,
cause of that?
absolutely. If you're using, as they say, industrial waste and putting that in your mouth, you can have a problem. Okay?
Mm,
Now, also, you have to look at the factor of lifestyle, because a lot of the things that affect your teeth, like any other part of your body, is what you're putting in your body. You can't isolate anything. My wife was telling me today that she was having a little pain in her arm from pulling a door. Well, if you have a problem in one part, you don't just work that part, you work the whole body, and
yeah,
things will balance out.
yes.
Okay?
And next, I want to ask you again regarding the fluoride. Our mouth, over the years, they say that it's been told that that the bacteria in the mouth has changed over the past 90 to 100 years because of the fluoridation of water, all of the chemicals, all of the pesticides, herbicides, fungicide, weedicide, all that have changed the bacteria in the mouth and in the body. Could that be like a backlash because the ecosystem of the mouth are not conducive with what the man-made chemicals they put in the food and in the water? And can that be a cause of the problem again that we are having with our mouth and our body?
Oh, well, yeah, because we have to look at many factors, that add up, add up, add up. And that's only one of a few. Okay? So as we change our lifestyle, then our body's going to change, which means everything in it's going to change in terms of the bacteria and how it works with the food that we eat and helps to strengthen our body and keep it strong. Now, also, our DNA changes. So we aren't the same people we were before. We have a lot of energy that's coming in environmentally from the sun and otherwise, and it's bringing some of us to a higher level of consciousness, like going from
Mm-hmm.
third to a fifth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that has to do with our bodies changing from that physical structure to more of a crystalline body.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have some changes because, of course, it's adjustments going from any one spot to the other. But if you don't mind, I don't have a challenge with preventing, I mean, pardon me, just showing you what the challenges are. But I really like giving prevention. Okay.
Cool.
So
That's
you
good.
have some folks who are trying to keep you in the dark because they want your third eye to be calcified.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you know the things that they're going to throw at you to calcify it so you
Mm-hmm.
can avoid that. So one of the first things you should do is stop any activity that's causing it. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop drinking the coffee with the caffeine. Leave the dairy alone. Leave the artificial sweeteners alone. Leave the the sugar sweetened juice. Leave that alone. And of course, leave the white flour because the white flour, it has no nutritional value. It's white because of the bleaching agents. And once again, it's the bleaching agents that cause challenges. Nothing is white and natural. Very few things are. So if you look at flour, if you look at rice, if you look anything where you put in a bread, you put in a bleaching agent to make it white, that's most of the problem.
Mm.
So stop any of this activity that's causing it, okay? Um, and number two, here's a list of things. Now, I will read them off because the list is long and it should be.
Mm.
Chlorella, cilantro, raw lemon juice, garlic, raw apple cider vinegar, oregano oil, neem extract, vitamin K, tamarind, distilled water, raw cocoa, goji berries, watermelon, bananas, coconut oil, hemp seeds, seaweed, essential oils, crystals, as well as regular meditation and chanting. All right? So now you have the things that can help to detox your pineal gland. Any questions?
So far, so good. I mean, you are explaining everything very clearly, and you're very thorough with your presentation. So you can just proceed because I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Now, before we end this, I would like to give out what I call is safety tips. Okay, let's start with
Yes.
one. Let's start with fluoride fluorescent lights. Now, I taught for over 3 years in one school and 17 in another. It ended up being like 30 years total. And what I found is when I would cut off those lights or replace them or have it where it was just the natural sunlight, I didn't have the challenges of the children being agitated and not being able to focus. Why? Because of our melanin. Our nerve endings are agitated by those frequencies that come from the fluorescent lights. Now you have those others that say, "Oh, Willie can't sit still. He should be on Prozac or Ritalin," and all that is crack. But you take out the fluorescent lights because some time ago, good brother, when we taught the children, it was outside.
Yes.
Okay? So
Yes.
we did not have that challenge. So that's one of the things we can look at. Um, the other, now these are just things that, like I said, safety tips. Vegetable oils. Oh, don't that sound so healthy? Vegetable oils. It almost makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But you shouldn't. Because when you see those oils like the corn, the sunflower, the canola, safflower, all of those things in those bottles that are clear that you can see, now you know you ain't got no corn on a corn cob, and all of a sudden you got it in a bottle that looks clear. There
Yes,
had to
yes.
be some processing. And when you process, you've got to use heat. And that heat, it ends up changing what you started with. Uh, and because you have omega fats in there, like the threes, the heat, it turns it rancid, spoiled, and it smells like gooply gooply gal. That is why chemicals are put in it to deodorize it. So you got chemicals in it that's deodorant, you got it refined, you got it, oh man, and then you put it on your food. Hey, we would suggest that you use tropical oils like coconut oil. It's antifungal, antiviral, and antibacterial. Or you can use extra virgin olive oil. And if you're going to do so, make sure you have a reputable source. Because, oh, as you know, some folks, they be, well, not doing the right thing and saying it is and it ain't. So it's
Right.
always nice to have a reputable source when you go there. So over here in the Gambia, they drink what is called a tire. Okay, you may have seen them uh, sipping what it looks like sudsy tea in a shot glass. And basically, what they do is they fill it halfway up with white sugar and they
Mm,
use tea. It's usually the tea that comes from China. Somebody's
mm,
got some deal going because they got it in mostly all the little stores where they sell this. And especially when the Gambia has the best soil in the world, so it has the best teas in the world. But generally, that's what happened. Now they sit all day and they take it and they pour it from one to the other till it gets real sudsy. Then they down it and they get
mm.
a rush. So that's one way they think they're, they got a high. But if you'd like to substitute the white sugar, you can use your dates. You can cut that up small, small, put a little water, and then put it in a spoon or pan and make you date syrup. The other thing you can use is what's called tandamarin. You can use what we call is the never die seed. There's another word for never die. We have them here. But the never die seed, you can open it up, and if you chew it and drink some water, it will be effervescent and just really kind of sparkling. You can use that, and they're called moringa seeds. Over here, they
Meringue.
call them never die. Yeah. You can use that to sweeten this attire. So that's one step in getting healthy. Because when you try to break away from the sugar, like the cigarettes, it's like you're addicted, and
Yes.
it really takes a lot of strength to get past that and other things that can assist you as you make that change.
One question.
Um,
Would you
yes, sir.
recommend CMOS as a good substitute, um, as a healthy substitute?
Oh, yes, sir. In fact, I just had some sea moss with my cereal. Quinoa, avocados. We had some bananas and some other fruits, some pineapples and uh, papaya. And man, yeah, I try to get sea moss in every day because it helps to balance your body out with the good things you need. Dr. Sabi, he was a
Mhm.
great proponent of that and loved the man, loved the man. And we try to make sure that we stay in our lane, stay in our
Mhm.
lane. Um, we were asked by Dr. Ilela Africa and his wife Um, why would we want to go over and see Dr. Sabi when we've got what he doesn't really have? We have the nutritional information, but also we have the food and it tastes good. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Layla, he would only eat Mama Nasira's food. That's my wife, if you guys don't know. Um, when he came to stay with us here in the Gambia, or when we went to his place in the States, he would eat Mama Nasira's food. It was safe, it
Good,
was wholesome. And he
good.
was a wonderful testimony for that. And I could go on and on about Mama Nasira. She's not only the best vegan chef in the world, but she has so much love and she gives so much, so much. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we have this GoFundMe for our dog Sheba. Our school basically was funded by an annuity I took out 10 years ago that helped us with the book, the stipends for the students, and it ran out 2 years ago. So basically, we've been carrying on with just our retirement, and this was unsustainable. So we had
Mm.
to get housing in San Francisco. And I do believe I sent you the video where Mama Nasira's family was in the Fillmore and the San Francisco redevelopers. They wanted the community there, black folks, to move out so they could redevelop the area. And they told them they would pay them, pardon me, they would be able to come back in and, it might be a little more with the rent, but it would be affordable. Well, the black folks, knowing the history we've had with those
Mm-hmm.
folks, they said no. Well, a few days later, after their meeting, there was an explosion across the street from Mama Nasira's house that she lived in with their family, and they had a beauty salon on the first floor. Mama Nasira was 13 at the time. Well, it was estimated that it was 96 sticks of dynamite that blew this three-story building to smithereens. All that was left was one piece of wood on some wire. So the
Wow.
houses in the area caught on fire. Many of them, their roofs collapsed. It was just devastating. And the redevelopers came through the next day and they made them an offer. Either you take this lowball offer or, by eminent domain, we're going to take it and you ain't getting anything. So,
Wow.
because that was so egregious as what happened to my family, we were part of the Trail of Tears, where we had a forced march to Oklahoma. And
Mm-hmm.
once there, we we Oklahomans, along with other people, we put together a town that they called Tulsa. In Tulsa, they called it the Black Wall Street.
Yes,
And as most of you know, it was it was destroyed.
it was destroyed. Yeah.
We had the buildings caught on fire, and they actually bombed us from airplanes. My my great grandmother, she was traumatized, and she moved to California, and that's how I ended up in California.
Okay.
So, we siege we just keep on growing, and
Mm.
you don't let anything get you down. It only makes you stronger. I was reminded that you cannot have a diamond unless there's pressure. And it seems that it's the same with us with our life circumstances. And as
Yes.
I mature, which in our book, the chapter, Most Men Are Slow, I point out that it takes about 50 years before the average man begins to mature. Now, I'm going
Mm.
on 74, and I'm still working on the building because it surprised me to understand the differences between men and women. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are more male babies that die the first year than female babies. And there are
Okay.
more women that live over 100 than men. And
And and why
women
is
can
that?
lower women can lower their blood pressure quicker than we can. And
Okay.
they're able to their respiratory system, they're able to certain altitudes, like in the Andes Mountains. The men can't carry the heavy loads, only the women. And what is the real kicker is that a female brain is 25% heavier than a male's brain.
Oh.
25%. So you're talking about the cerebral cortex, the cerebral area where the
Mm-hmm.
nerve endings. And
Yes.
as a result of that, they are able to have a degree of intuition that we don't have. They're
Mm-hmm.
able to, shall we say, what's the word, when they're doing many things at the same
Multitask.
time?
Multitask.
Multitasking. Not
Yes.
only that, their threshold of pain is a lot higher than ours. In other words, they can take a lot of pain and not complain. Where if we get a splinter in the face, my face, help, get, okay? And a woman is able to, with her brain power, she's able to take a language and assimilate it faster than we can.
Mm.
That is why you should not argue with the woman. Men, please don't argue with the woman. It ain't fair. First of all, they pull up stuff that don't even fall into what you're arguing about. And second, they get you all upset and they lower their blood pressure. And they look at you saying, why are you getting so upset? Why are you raising your voice like that? It's not that, okay? But I
Yes.
ask all men to please reconsider your position with the feminine. The earth now is going back to the feminine, Mother
Mm.
Nature, away from the masculine that has caused so many problems. So now I ask you, please thank a female or females in your life for
Mm.
taking the time to help you along your path. It's not easy dealing with somebody slow. And some of them do it with great elegance, and compassion. And
Mm.
on behalf of all the slow men that don't understand yet, because we've all got our own path to our enlightenment, thank you. Thank you for putting up with our slow self. Thank you. Please. We appreciate it. On behalf of those that can't see it yet, appreciation is there, female. We love you. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Mm. 100%. Powerful. Powerful. Um,
Now, I'll leave you with the healing so everyone can get aboard and just make this the heaven on earth that it is really, and you'll be able to perceive it better. I have what is called a healthy, wealthy, and wise, and it works. If you would like to be healthy, or if you don't want to be, that's your choice. If you don't want to be wise, hey, there are a lot of folks that ain't wise. There are a lot of village idiots. Come on now. Uh, Healthy and wealthy. What is your wealth? Your
mm.
wealth is your health. If you don't see a bird flying around with a backpack or a suitcase, okay? Because all the needs are met. So let's go into what we do. Each and every morning, upon awakening, and I don't like the word morning because you know how they work with the language.
Mm-hmm.
We're not morning, but say a grand rising. Write
Mm-hmm.
down 5 things that you are happy, thankful, and grateful for. Happy, thankful, and grateful for. You're going to do it 5 things. And you're going to write it down and do it with feeling. I'll give you an example. I am so happy, thankful, and grateful for my big toes. My big toes allow me to walk, to run, to dance, to drive a car, to climb, to twirl. And not only that, my big toes make my other toes look good. I'm so happy. I'm thankful. And I am grateful for my big toes. Do it with feelings. That brings in the energy, the synergy. Do it for 5 things. Now, you can use my big toes if you want, or use your own or anything else. But you're only going to do this for 21 consecutive days. 21 consecutive days. Why 21? Well, that's usually when you can bring a habit if you can. But the reason this works is because you are not going up against your subconscious. So let's go quickly to forgiveness. It's only 2 things: gratitude and forgiveness. You forgive one time for 21 consecutive days. One time for 21 consecutive days. It can be a person or it can be a thing. If it is a thing, let's give you an example here. We can have the cow that's brushing up against the post. Now I got to go out and repair it. It could be the chicken that's pooping on the walkway after I done swept it up, or the pig that's grunting at night disturbing my sleep. I forgive them. Why?
Mm.
Because at the time they did or didn't do according to me or you, they were doing the best they could with their level of consciousness. And what is meant by that? The level of consciousness is their awareness, their knowingness, their strength, their ability, their love standing. I don't use, and you're welcome to use it, love standing. I've created other words. Other words have come through me, but not inner standing or understanding. Just use love standing, okay?
Love standing.
And their ability to make a change. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got all those things in mind, your awareness, your understanding, your love standing, your love standing, your strength, and your ability and willingness to change. So you can forgive the thing or forgive a person for the same. Now, one of the things you will notice is when you are forgiving that person, things are going to come up, things that you are going to have to look at. And many of those things you'll have an opportunity to forgive yourself. Because at the time you did or didn't do anything, you were doing it the best you could at your level of consciousness at that time. So forgive yourself. And when you
Mm.
forgive, it's like lifting weight off your shoulders and you
Yes.
seem to rise up, which you do in consciousness. And you were able to see the world from a different perspective. And why does it work? Well, many people make like New Year's resolutions. Oh, I'm going to stop smoking. Oh, I'm going to stop. Yeah. And what happens? Mostly they fail. Why?
Mm.
Because they go up against their subconscious. And what is that? The subconscious is you. That's you from the time you came out of your mother's womb and went through that veil of forgetfulness. Because before you went through the womb, you had a plan. You and maybe other souls that you were going to do or not do. But when you went through that veil of forgiveness, you forgot everything. And the
Mm.
person that was there to assist you was your guardian angel. Now, what your family, what you've read, what you've seen on TV, the religion, your schooling, all of this is part of you making up your subconscious. So if you come up with an idea or want to make a change, your subconscious is saying, hey, pipsqueak, bring that change up here next to me. We'll see what's going to happen. And you know what usually does happen. It gets
Yes.
assimilated or it's deleted. But
Yes.
when you do this, you create a new paradigm. You create a new you. And it just takes 21 days and it works. So that's what we're leaving you with. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. Regarding men and being babies, that's, I mean, I think that is a true thing. Today, men over 50, there is a high level of prostatitis with men.
Mm-hmm.
And they have erectile dysfunction and they have a lot of problems. What
Yes,
are
sir.
the the cause and the solutions for helping men to help with prostatitis and those health problems?
Well, number one is lifestyle. That's number one. If you follow the rules, you eat alkaline, fruits, vegetables, grains, that's your beans, your legumes, you won't have the problem. It's only when you eat those other things that are very acid, like the starchy pasta and rice and white sugar, and, the list goes on. When you take in anything that is unwholesome, your body has to take the nutrients from the minerals in your body, the minerals. It takes the nutrients nutrients from the minerals in your body in order to neutralize that acid. And over time, you end up with weak bones. That's why many people end up with osteoporosis, weak bones.
Yes.
But for men, several things. Number one, men should take hot baths, warm baths. Okay? Um, in this modern industry, you'll notice that many of the housing that's going up, they do not have bathtubs. And that is a medicinal device. When you take your hot baths, your warm baths, then that allows the waste that would be building up in your rectum, because most folks that have the prostate challenge, they have constipation problems too. And if it can't go out your rectum, then it's going to go out through your body. And there's a very thin line between your prostate and your rectum. So what you end up is having a crossover, and that creates a problem. So what you do by getting in the hot water, that helps to get it back into the bloodstream, and it can redistribute it so it can go where it's supposed to go. Okay? Now, what I would do is suggest the book. We have a chapter on fibroid tumors as well as prostate.
I
And
was
you'll
coming to the
find that,
fibroids part.
you'll find that basically they're the same. It's the same part of the body. It's just changed a different way. So some of the same things that work for the women with the prostate will work, uterine fibroids work for the men. So if we're talking about reducing it, I'll just look at the book and I won't go into it too much. Um, to maintain health, the body's diet should consist of about 60% alkaline forming foods and 40% acid forming foods. So to restore your health, you increase your intake of the alkaline foods. Okay? And generally, these alkaline foods include fruits, seeds, nuts, greens, leafy vegetables, beans, peas, lentils, millets, blackstrap molasses, herbs, spices, and seasoning. Now, generally, acid-forming food is going to can include animal products, like your red meat and stuff. Well, I would suggest to cut down on your meat because for several reasons. Number one, if you eat meat, you are eating a lot of pesticides that have accumulated in the animal. In other words, the whole life that the animal has collected it, those pesticides, now you're eating it. And number two, meat, it destroys lysine. And lysine regulates your pineal gland. So if you're a meat eater, by all means, eat the food that contains lysine to try to balance it out. In other words, if you're a straight out meat eater, not only will your pineal gland close up, but you're going to be a dark in the matrix and you won't know which way is up. Okay? There are fruits.
And sorry, and
Yes, sir.
these suggestions go for both cystic fibrosis
Ye- yes,
and
sir.
and prostatitis.
Yes, sir, because it's a
Okay.
lifestyle. I mean, if
Yeah.
if you have someone that's say uh, putting pressure on their antennas, and that's your hair. Your hair is an extension of your brain. Okay, and when you put things on it that kills the nutrients in it, then you kill the opportunity for you to bring in more information. And
Hmm.
then you compound it with folks that are wearing hair. Oh my goodness. And they don't know where that hair comes from, what the energy is like. Because some folks, they cut off hair because they feel it's, demon. It's got bad energy and they believe it. It's done unto you as you believe. And they cut their hair off. And then some folks end up with it. Okay. Some hair is taken from corpses. Okay. Hey, man, some folks don't have no shame in their game. And then you have in America what they call a, wa- a weave. Oh my God. Tracks, glue, you name it. You can't
Mm.
even be romantic and want to swim. Let's go out and take a dive in this. That's over. Okay. And then they end up with fibroid tumors
Yes.
because all of that stuff is mimicking the estrogens. So if you really want to do it, you got to make some changes. And everything is not a quick fix. It didn't, it took a while for most folks to get to where they are. And be patient with yourself as you change your lifestyle. Okay?
Good.
Follow those simple rules in terms of alkaline food. Stay away from the acid food. Okay? Stay away from those vegetable oils. And do the healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I
Good.
think that will keep you in heaven.
Cool. Yes. Cool. Very good. Yeah. I want to ask you one question. Over the years, many sisters have had the perm hair, where they use the Revlon, the chemicals in the hair, or the hot press. But what you find happening these days, many sisters have that had the perm for a long time, where the scalp got burnt, the hair has dropped off, and the constant itching of the scalp. Once the scalp start to itch, then the hair will soon drop off again. Do you have any suggestions where a sister could help um, deal with that problem and help the hair to start to grow in places where it stopped growing?
Okay.
Do you have any suggestion? Any?
Well, one suggestion which may seem radical is stop the weave, stop the perm, wear your hair as natural as possible. If there are products that are natural that can assist, and if you have to start off with a cavadas being bald, do so. There are
Mm-hmm,
so many different head wraps and things you can do. Go for it. It is better to do that than to continue to poison your system.
mm-hmm. Good.
But get our
Good.
book. Get our book, please. We have a chapter. It lists the herbs and all of those things, that we were able to do the research. And once again, I encourage people to do their own. But that is a start. It's the number one book in the world for a reason. Maybe the Galactic Federation's got something to do with that. I don't know. But anyway. Now, some of you might think that Dr. Joe and Mama Naasira were making a whole lot of money off the books. No, no, no. First of all, we're dealing with Amazon, and Amazon has a great distribution, but they also have their little folks in there that are able to set up shop and sell our books for less than they allow us to sell them at the low price, because I'm
Okay.
selling them at the lowest price they will allow me. But
Mm,
so just to let you know, a lot of people are not strangers to that. Another heartbreaking episode happens when you take pictures, a book, and a lot of pictures to go with it, and you put it up on Amazon, and then your book, they have it where it's got to sell for like $75 because of the color. We had that challenge initially, but we decided to go with color and black and white. And it's the
mm-hmm.
black and whites that became the number one bestsellers. So if you go online and you see the book for like 75, no. If you want the black and white, you can. Okay, do it. Do it.
Can you show the book again, please, for the audience to see? Cool. Yes.
Yes, sir. Now we are open for the right printer and the right distribution. We have revived the book. We have it in French, and we're going to have it in other languages. But Mama Nasir and I, we're in our 70s, and we've spent a lot of time with the school and working with the it ain't, woo, Lord. Okay? Whew. All right. So
So
we
you
have
say you're
spent a
looking
lot of
for
time.
distributors in the UK or anywhere where you can find them to distribute your books?
Well, in the UK, we had, yeah, I know, High Five to Peppercott, and all those other folks that, spread our books when we were in the UK on our book tour. And we look forward to coming back there if, you guys will have us. Uh, oh, and music helps. Make sure that you get music that sounds real good. Like uh, brother, the brother, some of the brothers, they have good music, like Brother Boo. He has good music, good mind-moving motivational music. And if you plug into YouTube, my name, Gregory Joe Bledsoe, I have about 40 different songs up there that are all
Okay.
mind-moving motivational music.
Okay, good.
And
Um,
and the plug for my dog, remember, go fund me. You know, we ran out of our money. We got to get back for our housing because of what they did. Uh, but we got to go now, and we can't leave our dog Sheba behind. So with our money being low, we put out a GoFundMe for folks to assist us. And we've been on this path for years, and I'm sure we've helped a lot of folks. And if you do give anything, we'll give you Mama Nasira's immune building concoction, as well as one of Sheba's dog recipes. And the concoction, that's internationally known. In fact, it would have been out all over ECOWAS, the 15 African states. They had a program to give out, to fund anything that was helping the people in the 15 African states. You're talking about medical doctors, traditional healers, and herbalists. And they decided our concoction was the thing they wanted to go with, but the COVID broke out. It didn't happen. But the president of Madagascar at the time, he used it and gave it out freely to all his people, and there was no COVID problem. Even though he did say, this was the president, I didn't, that the World Health Organization tried to bribe him with $20 million to put something in it he didn't want to put in it. And when he didn't do it, he said they tried to unalive him twice. So Mama Nasira and I, we made sure that we made that concoction available to the world. Okay? So there you go.
Dr. Joe, it's a pleasure speaking to you.
Yes, sir.
I look forward in us meeting again um, soon, I think tomorrow or Sunday, where
Mhm.
you and your beautiful wife could have a discussion which is broader. I would like us to talk about Jazeera Nasara and other topics because the family like your humor, your presentation, and your youthfulness. So thanks again. We will be catching up soon, tomorrow or Sunday, where you and your wife can come together and let us speak.
Well, I give thanks. I give thanks because I'm not alone, and none of us are alone. Not only do you have your guardian angel, you have other guardian angels that help you in specialties like your beautiful voice and the work you're doing, or if you're an artist or a musician or whatever it is, you have specialty angels for that. You have your ancestors that are in the ancestral realm. You call them, they're there, they're nudging you. And you have your cosmic family. So you're never alone. In fact, it kind of makes it difficult for you to want to masturbate knowing that you have such a large audience.
Yes. So thanks
So
again.
thank you, my brother. Thank you. We appreciate you for helping us to get the information out to others,
Yes.
helping to make this heaven on earth. We have to
Yes. And
be of
once again,
service.
yes. And I hope the family would like to support Dr. Joe for the work that they're doing and support the GoFundMe because it go a long way. You could see he giving his service, his time, his all of the research you have done. He looking to share it with the family. So we're looking forward to we'll be putting the GoFundMe up on the channel for people to support him, to help him with his venture to return to the US, to do what he have to do in the US. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah,
again.
we're looking forward to it. We're coming back to help. So help us so we can help others. Thank
Thank
you
you very
so
much.
very much.
Yes. So peace, and we'll catch up soon.
Peace.